Hello, I already see some people in the room. This is awesome. Thank you so much for joining me today. We are here for our next Happy at Home session. It is May the 15th. I can't believe it's already the middle of May. That's kind of crazy. And I'm so excited because today you will notice I am not in my scrapbook room. We have a brand new thing happening here. I am actually at my parents'. They've released some of our social distancing rules, so I get to see some family. I'm really excited. It's still like small group and all the things, but I do get to visit some family. So I'm away from home, but I didn't want to leave you hanging because this has just been too much fun. So I have a really good topic for us today. So Kathy is here. She says, Happy Friday. I think I might be scared of this topic. And yeah, I think that's exactly the thing. Like, let's be real. You guys have seen some of my scrapbook room. We did this whole organizational series in January, and we went through all these areas. You saw my stickers collection. You know that I am not a minimalist scrapbooker, right? So that is the situation. But today we're going to talk a little bit about what do you really need to scrapbook, right? That's the thing here. And I think that it's really important for us to think about what are the basics. All the rest of the stuff is really things that help to make our craft, our hobby, our enjoyment more fun. It lets us be more creative. And we have explored so many things. Sharon says, is it my internet? It keeps cutting out. Let's just say we do not have the regular internet connection here, so I'm sorry if it's not giving the best broadcast quality. We're going to be keeping this one really short, so hopefully that'll kind of help. So I just wanted to show you what I take with me when I travel. Yeah, everybody's having a spotty connection. And that'll be from my side here. It is not the same internet, so I'm sorry. We'll keep it short. So when I travel, I have a to-go bag. So I have this bag. It is large enough to fit 12 by 12 paper and supplies. So it's a good generous size container. It has some slots on the outside so you can tuck in some of your tools. And then it has a lot of good storage on the inside. This one, it has little pockets and little slots for putting pens and different things. I don't actually use a lot of the extra slots because then I'd have to pack it and unpack it when I'm not traveling. And this one is called the Tote Ali Cool, the original on-the-go tote. So that is what I am using. And what do I put in the tote to make scrapbooking on the go easier? So there's a few things. Let's start with my pencil case. I got a lovely little Be Happy pencil case. And in here we have a few things. My favorite adhesive, glue dots, tape runner. Stuff I think is awesome. It's also small, so it's very portable. I have some liquid glue. This is my Lawn Fawn liquid glue. And you'll notice I've got a piece of this purple tape with a little pin taped right to the side so that if I need to unclog the end, I've got that handy and it's right there and ready to go. There's a pencil so I can draw lines and markings for when I want to do some journaling. And of course, a proper eraser because those little ones on the end of a pencil are useless. And then I have some highlighter pens that I normally use with my planner. And I also have a variety of pens. And I'm going to show you these ones because I think they're pretty great. They come in different size tips. So you can see there's a 0.1, there's a 0.5, and there's a 0.3. If I put them in the right order. And so they're different size of tips, so it allows me to have different ends. So you can see kind of right there, if I put this around my head, how that one's quite a thicker tip on it, whereas the 0.1 is super duper fine. And Joyce says, I have that bag, and you use it when you travel. That's exactly what you need. Lisa says, wait, where are you, Alice? I am at my parents'. We have been allowed to have some small group mingling, and we're taking full advantage of that. We pulled our RV into their yard last night. So pens in the thing. The other pen that I have included in here is a white Jelly Roll pen, because having the option to have black and having the option to have white is usually enough to make any kind of scrapbook page. Okay, next up, stuff it all back in the pencil case. Things that are not fitting into the pencil case, but I think are essential. I have my purple tape. This stuff is just good for everything, right? It's good for everything. I also have my awesome scissors. Those are my Tim Holtz scissors. I think they have ones with black handles now. No matter what, these things are awesome. And did you know that these scissors actually pass like TSA when we actually get to like go on flights and travel to places? You can use these scissors in your hand luggage. They are a short enough blade from the point of the pivot to the end. Now, one thing that I have done, because I have traveled with them many times in my hand luggage, because most of our travel, I don't even like to check bags. If I don't have to check a bag, I don't even check a bag. So I put those in my carry-on bag. What's going to happen is they're going to look like giant scissors. But when you bring them out, so when you're taking out your liquids to have your liquids inspected, bring out the scissors. They can see them. They'll realize that they're actually a short blade, and then you won't have any problems. So there you go. The other thing I like to have in my kit when I travel is my clear ruler, so that I can do titles, lining things up. It's super handy to have a ruler in your bag. And then we're going to talk about the fun stuff. Okay, one more thing that I did include in here, and that is a travel mat. So this is a cutting mat. And I didn't actually carry my cutting blade, which I normally would have in there. So things are missing from my travel kit this time, which is good reminders to myself. My travel blade, like my little craft blade, and foam tape. And I will show you the best little workaround that I found when you don't have your foam tape to create a little bit of dimension on a page. Okay. So other things that I include, I like to put together a kit when I want to work on a page. So if you have a project that you're working on, or you have a theme for your day, then you're able to pack supplies that really fit with the topic that you're doing. Joyce says, my husband confiscated today to bring his leather crafting tools with us up to the mountains tomorrow. Hopefully I will get it back. Your poor bag, it's been commandeered. I hope you get it back too, because those bags are fantastic. Okay, so now it's really important to kind of consider the way that you scrapbook and what are the important tools. One really important tool to have in your bag, and in fact, it's so important that I would say it's worth having a second one. Maybe you've upgraded to a better one, but you still have your old one. Put your old trimmer in your bag and just leave it there. Note to self, I forgot mine this weekend, and when I showed up here, I'm like, oh, I don't have my trimmer. But fortunately for me, I'd have some thickers that will go with my travel papers. And let's see. I've got my thickers that will go with my travel papers. And then I have some little embellishments. And it's a small little handful of embellishments, things that I like to put on pages. So what do I like to put on? I love little phrase stickers. I love little tiny embellishments, right? So things like that. And then I also grab some acrylics. So you guys have seen me. I've showed all of these kinds of things during our live sessions. So those are all fun things that I like to include. So let's have a look and see the travel page that I was able to create using these supplies. So here I'm on the go scrapbooking about going somewhere when we went on our cruise in the fall. And I made this page just using those supplies. Now, one thing that I will say is that right here, you'll notice that these stickers are all popped up. And I did mention that I did not have my pop-up tape with me. So what did I do? And I shared this actually in an Instagram TV video. So if you look to check out Instagram, go to my Instagram, there'll be like a little preview and you can kind of see me actually do a whole demo. But here's my trick. You know how all your papers have little cut-off strips on them? You know, you cut them. Okay, so we'll see if this lets me resume. This is not ideal. But yeah, so you can just take your little strip of paper, accordion fold it back and forth until you get enough height to create your embellishment. So hopefully you can kind of see some of the accordion folds in there that are popping up my little embellishments. So that was really fun. The other thing I did is I packed another kit so I could work on one more page. And this time I decided that I wanted to be able to use lots of pattern papers. So I grabbed this whole block of paper and it has all kinds of stuff in it. And Rumpy Tump, she says, "That's so smart, Alice." So yeah, it just, when you don't have access to all of your supplies, you get creative and you start to think, like, what do you have with you that will actually work? So here I've grabbed all of these supplies. I wanted some really bright, colorful papers. And then to go with this, I grabbed some kind of thickers for different things, different styles of thickers, and a package of stickers. And then I've still got the same little doodads and phrase strips. And then I also packed a package of die cuts. And you'll notice this package of die cuts, I wasn't working to fit them back in the little thing, so I've just got them in a plastic bag. So did you pre-print the pictures, says Sheila? Absolutely. I printed the pictures at home and then I just worked with what I have. And so for this page, I was able to create a grid pattern layout. And in fact, I forgot one of my pictures at home. I was a little choked at first, like, how do I manage this? And I may fill in a couple of little spots on the layout with the pictures that I wanted to include on it originally. But I think that by working with the restrictions that you have every once in a while, it can really help to spur your creativity, because you have to come up with creative solutions to problems every once in a while. And I look at this, it turned out so cute. It was definitely made through having the opportunity to really play and create and just use the products that I have. How many times do we sit there and struggle to find the thing, that perfect thing for our page, because we have too many options? That totally happens, right? We get too many options and then we actually kind of sit there spinning our wheels instead of just making a decision and figuring out what works and what we can do to make it work. So yeah, it turned out super good, right? And it's just all a matter of laying out little grids, having a few little tiny pictures to put on the grids. This is literally the page I made about you guys. So I'm just gonna say, like, this is us hanging together, talking about creative things. This is the Happy at Home. I don't have the little logo. I wanted to put the little logo on here. Didn't happen. But I can add it after, and I think that I probably will, just to make sure that it kind of really covers the topic. But, you know, 2 pages created from my little travel bag full of goodies, and I think it gives me a lot of flexibility. It gives me that opportunity to be creative. Joyce says grid layouts are a great way to use up scraps. That is totally right. And the papers that I used on that grid paper, one of them was a full paper. You'll notice I put it on white paper so that all the colors could really shine. And then I have just, most of them were scraps. You'll notice there's only 2 of the little pink squares on here because literally that was all that was left of that pink paper. And there's more of some of the other ones because I had more of them, but I cut almost none of that paper. I just used the leftovers, and I keep them tucked there in that pack with the pad of paper. So until I'm done with that pad of paper, I keep all the little scraps, all the little leftovers together. And sometimes you just need that little tiny bit, right, to use on a page. So I think that's a really good lesson. Good lessons in how to be creative while you're scrapbooking on the go. Okay, so I showed you what was in my toolkit. Is there anything that you have that you would consider an essential to put into your toolkit? I'd like to hear, because for different people, there are different things that you go to every time. You're like, oh, if I'm making a layout, it's going to have this on it. Whatever that is for you, if there's like a favorite product that you love, please type it in here. Let us know what your favorite product that would be a must-have. For myself, I will definitely make sure that I have foam tape in my bag from now on because I love using it. And actually having a little bit of that paper tape that you can rip also would be a really good addition. So another thing I like to take with me is, in my camper, I actually leave a bag all summer with a little bit of watercolor paper so that I can test it. This is not my favorite watercolor paper. This is like Walmart brand or something. I don't know. Like, I think I got it from Walmart. It's Strathmore, but I think I got it from Walmart. So it's like readily available watercolor paper. And then I do leave a little bag in my RV. And, oh, see, I wish I would have found this last night. I didn't have it with my other stuff. I'll show you what's in my RV bag. It's not my scrapbooking bag. It's more for those creative moments when you just need a creative moment. So watercolor paper. This is my Amy Tangerine watercolor kit. If you don't have one of these, they're like super inexpensive and they're such a great way to have everything, as everything's falling out as I open it, to have everything with you when you travel. So there's a pencil in here, there's a pen in here, and there is a little packet, like a little tube, I guess, that you can use for water. So you can carry a little stash of water with you. And there's a sponge so you can dauber your paintbrush. Then you can flip this little part open and you've got a little paint palette. You've got your paint, and then you've got a water brush. And because that little tube actually has a little fine point on it, it's really easy to fill this little water tube back up. So it makes a very small, very convenient little paint palette. And look how cute it is. It's the size of a sunglasses case. In fact, my sunglasses case is larger than this. And it has everything I need to play with watercolor. So let's see. Joyce says bling. It's a must. And see, I didn't actually pack so much bling. I did pack some shiny thickers, some sparkly glittery thickers, and I did pack some words that were gold thickers. Oh my gosh, like these ones were so gorgeous. I wish I had like a million different words all in this style. They were just so beautiful. And then I also packed like those little embellishment, like little hearts and enamel bits. So in here I do have paper tape. In here I do have foam tape. And my gosh, guys, foam tape, so useful for when you're on the go. When we were traveling through Hawaii the last time, my husband brought his GoPro and we wanted to mount it on the car. We had a convertible car. I rented a VW Beetle convertible red car, and it was like the most fun that we've ever had with a little vehicle while we were traveling around. And Hawaii was like literally the perfect place to drive that little car around. Well, to stick the little camera onto the car, I just used a little bit of double-sided tape and we put it right where we could reach it so we could turn it on and turn it off and take it. We just pull it down. The sticky tape was amazing and it worked so well. We didn't lose the camera, and it's just amazing what you can use that stuff for. I've got my adhesive in here. I've got another pair of these scissors. Yes, I own multiple pairs of those scissors because they're wonderful. I have another bigger water brush in here. And then just pens, pencils, There's even a little bit of washi tape. You can tell that I had this in Hawaii because I've got my lip gloss in there. But it's just like basic supplies so that I can have a little bit of fun in the RV all summer. And I don't have to worry that I don't have anything with me. I just toss this little kit in the RV and I'm good for the whole summer. Okay, so let's see. Danielle says I keep a corner rounder in my kit and a water brush pen. Sharon says a small heart punch, a small star punch, and a corner rounder. And Sheila says my small paper trimmer, a corner rounder, and a water brush pen. Kathy says stickles. And Sheila says, and my scan and cut. I'm not lying when I say I bring it everywhere. I do not fussy cut. Fussy cutting, the F word of the craft world, right? Tiffany says hole punches, black stamping ink, a stapler, and an assortment of adhesive. So those are all really good supplies that you can put together like a pretty small kit so that you can have it on the go. In our RV, right when we first got it, I put a traveler's notebook in there, and every time we go off on an adventure, I write a few notes. It's not always a lot, sometimes it's more than others, but I write a few notes about the adventure that we had, and I just keep it in the RV, keep the pen with it, but it lets us document the adventures we've had in the RV. And when I look back through all the things, and sometimes I'll put receipts in there, or I'll just write in the amount that we paid for gas at a certain place. It just helps us to relive the memories and kind of compare different trips and kind of document the good places that we found to stop. So it's been a lot of fun, and I think that having a few crafty supplies really makes my experience better, and it makes me really question, like, how much stuff do I really need? I look at my scrapbook room. Oh, that's a good point, Sharon. She says, and my date stamp. I'm so bad for not dating things often enough. I should put a date stamp in there. But I look at my big room of scrapbooking supplies, and I want them to work for me so I can make pages that I love. And I do all the time. So I'm super proud of that. But at the same time, I don't want it to be, to feel heavy. And if you really need to mix it up and really find out what you would really want, put your stuff in a go bag. Grab a bag, put your things that you think are your essentials, and challenge yourself to only use those things. So it might be good, like if you've got a nice day, you could sit out in a park, or you could sit outside in your backyard and like try not to let yourself go back in the house to grab stuff, and use just the things that are in your bag. And it will challenge you. And if you forget your paper trimmer, been there, done that so many times. How many crops have I gone to without a paper trimmer? Honestly, it should be like the number one thing on my list, paper trimmer. But I have gone away for weekends forgetting my paper trimmer, and I made the best paper tearing pages ever because I didn't have a trimmer, and I just made it work. And can you imagine? I could make a gorgeous grid layout using paper tearing. That would be beautiful, right? Like, you can totally make it work. Put your supplies to work for you. Hopefully something from today inspired you, challenged you, or hopefully will